So today we're going to be talking about what's eating me. So a lot of times I had this feeling like what was eating me, and then I was eating everything else. And how did I, after all these years, 21 years, how did I move from what's eating me and then I'm eating everything else to what's eating me, take a deep breath, and how to take care of myself? And I had to get this discipline, and that's what I've been trying to instill in you each day, is when I got discipline around my food, then I was able, I'm feeling for the heat over here. So the pan is perfect, and then I'm going to get back to that topic. So think about discipline. So I am going to spray just a little bit here, very little bit. And then again, I'm going to put my salt. And a little bit of my pepper. And I'm going to toast all of this. And then I've got these nice salmon steaks. I don't know if you can see it, if I have to get up real close. Can you see that?
Yeah, the lighting's much better.
Okay, good. And then this has got, I always get the skin. It doesn't matter. I like to get the skin on it. I get it at Whole Foods. Costs $9.95 a pound. So if you divide that by, well, figure you're going to have to get 1.25 pounds for 4 portions. So that's going to be about $12, $13. Divided by 4 is $4 per serving. So I'm going to take this salmon. Hear that? Sizzle, sizzle. I start with the flesh side down. So years ago, I was watching a famous chef on TV, and he said, anytime that you do fish and it comes from the ocean where it's salty, make sure that you add salt. Otherwise, you're going to drain out the flavor and all of the liquid from the fish, and it won't taste good. So with shrimp, because I remember I would cook shrimp, and I'm not going to add any salt to it, and I would put garlic and I would put olive oil, and then the shrimp just didn't taste good. And he said just add the salt. So this salmon is that goes into the ocean, it comes out and it kind of balances it out. So I think there's a really good flavor. So I used to be afraid to add salt to anything because I had heart disease in my family and high blood pressure. And it wasn't the actual little bit of salt I was adding. It was all the processed food that I was eating. So I'm going to let this sear, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So I wanted to talk about discipline. So I have been undisciplined around food my whole life. I'm going to say my adult life. When I was a kid, of course, you had to have breakfast before you went to school in the morning. You had lunch at school. I loved to buy lunch at school. I think that's where I learned to eat different kinds of foods, was at school, because my mom was not a very good cook. Her mother was amazing, but my mother was not a good cook, and she always struggled with her own trying to diet all the time. So you're talking about the 50s and the 60s. And then we got home at night. We'd have dinner together as a family, and my mother did not like the taste of meat. So she would take this beautiful roast, and then she would shrink it down to this side. Everything had to be well done. But another thing my mother did is she would poke holes in the roast and stick whole cloves of garlic. So when you hit that part of the meat that had the garlic, it tasted so bad that it was like I got an aversion. So to this day, I still don't like to eat meat. My mother did not like lamb. My mother did not like, what else did she? Pastrami, corned beef, anything like that. So we weren't introduced to that. But my mother loved chicken, and she loved vegetables, and she loved pasta. And my mother specifically, her favorite thing was she always made oatmeal cookies. She liked crispy oatmeal cookies, and she loved sugar. She would hide sugar around the house. So I love white flour. I love sugar. I never really did like meat. And so here I grow up, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep my weight down? Because the things that I want to eat when things are eating me are sugar and flour, and it kind of calms you down. That is what Dr. Lustig, over the years, that he and I have been friends and about 15, 16 years now. And he said, when you eat the sugar or you eat the refined carbohydrates, it responds exactly in your liver like alcohol. So if I'm really uptight and I have a glass of wine, I know, my brain knows, if I have a glass of wine, I'm going to relax. If I have too many glasses of wine, I'm going to really relax. And I'm going to probably end up with a hangover, being dehydrated the next day. I'm not going to feel very good the next day. Same thing happens with sugar. I start to feel stressed out, and I didn't want to turn to alcohol. I'm going to turn my salmon right here. And that's what it's going to kind of look like on that side. If you can see that, it's got nice brown. Oh, it's grilling so nice. So I would be upset with something in the world, and I knew how to calm myself down if I just had like a candy bar right now. Oh, I would get that immediate energy. I'd be able to finish doing what I'm doing. Or I'm sad, and if I have that sweetness, it's going to be a comfort for me. So I enjoyed the candy, and when I was young, over the years, it was like it wasn't a big deal. Life hadn't piled up on me. But as I got older, and then suddenly I have children, I've got a husband. Okay, well, that's enough stressor to make you eat all day long. I have to share a space with somebody else. And then I've got children, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm up all night. How am I going to keep myself going? God, a cup of coffee, a little caffeine, and a pastry. Oh, it's perfect. You put those together, and then I can get going. And then I crash. Well, I'll take a nap with the baby, and then, pretty soon it's like I'm able to get diet and get my weight off. And then, I have another child. And it was like I kept saying, I didn't really have a real weight issue till I started to have children. I think it's baby fat. It wasn't baby fat. It was stress-induced fat. And with each child, I gained more weight. And then with each time I tried to diet, and then you would hear things about the more you diet, the more weight you're going to gain. Because it's the dieting. If you just stop dieting and accept yourself right where you're at, you probably won't gain any more weight. Well, I've tried everything. I've tried the fasting. I've tried Jenny Craig. I've tried every diet. And I would be standing at the counter looking at the diets as I'm checking out. And of course they put, the magazines and with the next latest diet on one side. And then you turn around and the candy bars are on this side. So I would look at that, grab a candy bar and go, I think I'm going to go home and read what I'm going to start on Monday while I'm eating these things that I probably won't be able to eat anymore. And as my children got older, I gained more weight. And then it became an obsession, because when I didn't feel good about myself physically and I'm gaining weight, first I'm 5, I'm 10 pounds. Okay, so I wear baggy pants instead of jeans. And then the moo-moos, the uniform, the black uniform, you've got the stretchy pants and then the t-shirts. And it started to get in the way of my relationship with my husband, because I knew he was looking at me and seeing that I had gained weight. And that's probably why, he's mad at me. It must be about me and my weight. Or if I happen to say to him, God bless him, do you think I look fat today? If he responded anything other than you look beautiful, or if he did say, well, yeah, you do look like you've gained some weight, either way, he was dead in the water. Just absolutely dead. He couldn't say anything, because it wasn't about him. It was about me. What was eating me? I could not stop eating. And I want to go back over and tell you what Lustig said to me. That was, I just keep reiterating. This isn't a moral issue. It wasn't about the husband. It wasn't about, there's stress in there in the world. We've got stress with coronavirus right now. It really was more about what was happening to me when I was eating the food. It was taking over, and then I wanted more and more, and I didn't feel good. So how do I get out of that? Well, every time I would start a new diet, and I don't know what your experience is, for 2 weeks I would be so good. I would get on the diet, I would do exactly what they said to do, and then I would begin to lose a little weight, feel a little bit better, and then I'd go, oh, I don't need this anymore. I can do this on my own. And then I would go back to feeling as bad as I did, and I'd probably gain a few extra pounds. So with one of the things that I do differently now is over the last 20 years, I have had the discipline. And I remember my ex-husband telling me, if you only stuck to it, any diet will work if you stick to it. And that's true. Weight Watchers is great. The South Beach diet is wonderful. But if I return to doing what I'm going to do, I'm going to get what I got. And that was the part. So when I started this food plan, the discipline that said, and I had to do it just for today, and I tell you guys, I plan out my meal for today. I don't plan it out for, we've told you what I'd be cooking every week, but you have the freedom to plan out what you want. My suggestion is that you stay in the day. I had to separate what was going on in my life, my feelings, from what was eating me. The food was eating me. Here's the reality. When I eat anything that is processed, it triggers something in my liver that goes right to my brain that tells me either lay down and go to sleep or get up and run away, one of the two. But as long as I keep my food disciplined and I go to bed, within a half an hour, and I get up within a half an hour, and I'm doing this 7 days a week, I have this freedom. And I talked yesterday about fasting between meals. Like I have structure that I have around cooking in my meals so that in between my meals, I'm living. So if you want to go for a walk with me, or I want to teach at school or whatever, I just rearrange my life after I've taken care of myself. The best thing I can do for my children is to take care of myself and love me. And that's how they feel loved, because nothing feels as bad as having to worry about someone you love because they won't take care of themselves. And if I'm going to be a martyr, I'm going to say, oh, honey, you got to come take care of me. Oh, my knees hurt. Oh, my weight, I have high blood pressure. I have diabetes. That really, you not taking care of yourself, making your children take care of you, or your husband or your friends, is not an act of love for them. And I want to love people. The only way for me to be able to truly love you is to truly love me. And when I can get, and I love to see when people are working together, like, family, like Rose and I, we look at each other and we support each other. We don't have to be perfect. And, God bless my husband. Don't let the perfect get in the way of the good enough. With James and Rose and I, we argue sometimes. Sometimes he hurts my feelings. We talk about it. And then we get up the next day because we don't give up, because our discipline is we're going to get up every day and we're going to work together. So my salmon, this is looking so good. So the reason why some people like to eat the skin of the salmon, because there's a lot of good minerals in there and good vitamins in the skin. The omega-3 fatty acids comes from salmon. I don't know if you can see this, but this is nice and crispy. So if you like your salmon and you like to eat the skin, this is perfect. If you don't like the skin, this is the time that you can pull it right off. Right like that. Just grab it and pull it right off. You don't have to worry about taking a knife or having the butcher pull it off. This also holds in. And it just peels right off. Didn't finish my sentence. It holds in a lot of the moisture. Then I'll take it like this, and I'll flip it over, and that's it. Salmon done. Is that like so easy? So perfect. So you can either eat this or we put it in the food waste. So I'm going to set that to the side because I'm having that. I'll show you my lunch because I'm having salmon for lunch. So today I'm going to talk about salads. I'm going to put a salad together for Rose. And I wanted to show you, I have a salad at lunch and at dinner. So I do a 6-ounce salad at lunch. I do an 8-ounce salad at dinner. So I went into my garden and I've got these little, I am growing spinach. I put fresh basil in here. I have some field greens that I got at the grocery store. And I'm kind of mixing it together. I love my garden is starting to have things that I can use now. And I also got a little container of chopped cucumbers. That'll last about 2 or 3 days. I've got some cherry tomatoes that I've cut in half. That'll last a couple of days. And that cauliflower I roasted yesterday. Here's the ends. I've got this. So I'm going to add this, whoops, to my mix here. Okay, so this is what I do. I keep these salad things in the refrigerator so I can just bring it out, prep it up, bring it out, and put my salad together. So we made this egg salad yesterday. I'm having that for dinner tonight. And now I'm going to put this together for Rose. So Rose is having rice cake as her grain today, and I broke it into little pieces like this just for fun. When we went to Hawaii when she was a kid, maybe 8 years old, Joe was 5 or 6, and they serve, if you ever been to Hawaii, they have the pupu list. Pupu means hors d'oeuvres. So these are like little pupus that I'm going to make for Rose. So here's her 8 ounces of vegetables. I've got cauliflower and butternut squash that I made yesterday. So I'm going to heat that up for her. And then I've got 2 ounces of cucumbers and spinach. I've got my 2 eggs with the 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, and I'm going to make some pupus for you. What do you think, Rose? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to start off, and I'm going to put spinach leaf and 2 little cucumbers. So I've got like this. There's a job at the restaurant, Garde Manger, that people are fabulous and have an eye for it. Not my thing. I am not the Garde Manger. I am more of the get it done person. If you want to get it all chopped up, you want to get it cooked, you wanted to get it to be, ready to go out, I'm the person. If you want it to look absolutely gorgeous and set on the table right, not me. Not me. So I know that there's someone out there in your group.
Maria,
that is Maria. Shout out to Maria on being a fabulous garde manger. Not only does she cook good, but okay, so I've got these going on, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this.
Use this, please. Use this, please.
Okay. I'm going to take this little bit of egg salad and put it on the top. It's a balancing act here. So anything I can do in smaller pieces, that's why I have veggies and I try to spread things out. Anything I can do to slow down how fast I eat, I'm going to do. So this is a way that Rose, it's going to take her a while to eat this, but will be, you're more satisfied. It takes 15 to 20 minutes for your brain to tell you that you're full. And also, if you get hungry and you respond and you eat and it's not your time to eat, check to make sure that you're not thirsty first. make a call to a friend and say, hey, you know, I don't know what's eating me, but I sure feel like eating right now. Maybe you're just lonely. Maybe you're angry about something. Again, having a partner doing this not by yourself is going to be really helpful. I'm going to take a little bit of dill. Did you see what I did with the dill? Do you want a little dill on this?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I like to put a little dill on here. Okay, so I need one more plate, Rose, so that I can do your. The next thing I have is, I need a fork. So we cut up this cantaloupe, and what you're gonna see, and this is what happens for me, I'm doing so much, you know, cooking, fresh cooking every day, that I tend to have stuff left over, so I can add odds and ends to my meal. Here. All right, so this is Rose's meal today. I don't know if you can see all that. So she's got her protein there in the egg. Her fat is the mayonnaise that I put in there. Her grain is the rice cake underneath. Her veggies are some are raw, some are cooked, and then she's got some fresh fruit. So this is going to take her a little bit to eat this. Seems like a lot of food, doesn't it? It's like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Every day, I like to experiment with different veggies. There isn't a veggie I don't think I've met a veggie I don't like, and I'm really excited about sharing this with you. So there you go. So enjoy your meal. I will see you tomorrow, and try out this salmon. This is wonderful and easy. This is the pepper seasoning that I use. I use it a lot in things that I do just to add, just keeping it simple, and enjoy. Thank you so much.